Today I'm going to be preparing a delicious, rich and decadent pistachio cheesecake, layered with a beautiful pistachio paste on top and topped with pistachio silvers and ground pistachios. I'm going to be shaping my cheesecake in the shape of a crescent. If you're going to keep it a standard circular shape, you'll need an 8-inch springform pan, but for this recipe I'm going to use a 9-inch. Align the base with parchment paper so that it's easy to remove. Make sure it's tightly fitted and then grease the base and the sides with butter. And just to make sure that nothing sticks to the sides, I've got some parchment paper which I'm going to line on the outer circle of my pan. To help me create my crescent shape, I'm going to use a smaller springform pan or an oven-proof pan, and it needs to be around 4 inches, and I'll just place it on the side to help create that perfect crescent shape. And I'll also line the sides of the smaller pan with parchment paper, just so that it's easy to release later on after it's baked. Now that I've prepped my pan, I can start creating my recipe. The base of the cheesecake recipe is simple. It's my standard digestive cookies and butter. I don't add any sugar to the base simply because the digestives are sweet enough, and all the ingredients that I'm going to be using in the cheesecake recipe itself doesn't need more sweetness. I'm going to finally grind my digestive biscuits in a food processor. Here I've got 400 grams. If you want, you can also use Lotus cookies or Oreo cookies. They're all very good. Graham crackers is the original. Next, add in your butter. You're going to need about 100 grams melted, and it needs to cool down to room temperature. And just grind everything together until it has that crumbly texture. Gently pour the biscuits mix on the base of the pan. So I've just made an impulsive decision, and I'm going to be making 2 cheesecakes, the crescent, and then I'm not going to waste that real estate over here. I'm going to line it and make a smaller cheesecake in the middle. And I'll add the rest of the cookie mixture in the smaller pan. And then gently flatten the mixture very compactly onto the base. You want it to have a nice, smooth consistency. And if it pulls over to the side and creates a little crust, that's also good. I always say you can never have enough crust. I'm going to bake this in the oven, preheated at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to be hand mixing my mixture. I find that when I use a stand mixer, it creates too much air, and that's what causes the bubbles and the cracks on the base. So by just mixing it by hand, I reduce that effect. In a large bowl, I'm going to combine my cream cheese. I have about 800 grams. And to it, I'll add 150 grams of caster sugar. And you just want to combine everything together. Make sure that all your ingredients are at room temperature. Add in your eggs, 1 piece at a time. Thoroughly mix in and then add in the next. And once it's fully incorporated, add in your second egg. Add in your cornstarch and make sure to sift in to avoid any clumps. Incorporate everything in. Next, I'll add in my whipped cream. And to give this cheesecake that really beautiful, rich flavor, I'm gonna be using some pistachio paste. And I'm gonna use about a cup. It's equivalent for super large scoops. Let me tell you, you can never go wrong with this ingredient. It's super good. I'll add in some vanilla. And I always say lemon is a great complement to pistachio, so I'll add in some lemon zest and mix everything together. I can't begin to tell you how spectacular this smells. I've allowed my cookie base mixture to cool down to room temperature, and now I'm ready to add in my cheesecake mixture. And you just want to divide the batter between the two pans. I'm just going to give this a little tap to release any air bubbles in the mixture and to avoid any cracks forming. And I'll bake this in the oven for about an hour, 20 minutes until it firms up on the sides, and you just want the center to be a bit jiggly so you get that creamy consistency. My cheesecake has been out of the oven now for more than a couple of hours. I've allowed it to cool down, and now we're ready to serve it on a plate and give it a beautiful garnish. And now I can easily remove the smaller portion so I have a perfect shaped crescent. I'm just gonna serve this on my serving platter. I need to be very gentle. And for the topping, I'm going to add some more of this delightful paste. I'm just going to gently spread it. Slide over the edges to give a little subtle drip effect. And to make it extra rich and decadent, I'm going to add some pistachio slivers on the side. And some ground pistachio in the center. A delicious, decadent, and rich pistachio cheesecake, perfect for your Eid holidays, and it's a special treat for any special occasion. Today I've made it as a crescent shape. You can keep it as a normal circular shape or any shape that you'd like. Hope you guys like this recipe. Do try it at home, and wishing you all Eid Mubarak.